if that's what you want to do and you're not prepared to answer my question, I'm going to leave it there.
No, I'm prepared to answer your question.
No, then account for your conduct. Don't tell me about the vendetta against you and the fact that they want to get rid of you. Because at the commission here, nobody gets rid of another person. Here you come to answer questions because we are a fact-finding commission. You assist us with facts and facts only. And what is in front of me is the fact that since the day you were instructed to terminate these ad hoc services, they continued until June, and the cost to the city was more than 50 million rands.
I agree with you.
Yes.
Commissioner, I agree with you. The cost is sitting at that, but I'm saying I might have not done, right? I might have not cancelled this, but that does not necessarily mean, right? They were supposed to sit back, get this, what you call ballooning and ballooning, you see? So I'm saying to the commission, I accept what might be wrong in terms of my conduct, but I'm pleading with the commission, right, to seriously take note of the fact that they also had a role to play. If I give...
And Director Malatji, when Mr. Bolhayes was here, if you listen to his evidence, you would have heard me say to him, why is it that only Piri is being blamed for this? Because more people than Piri were responsible for this, including those who authorized the payment. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not just you, but because you are here today, you can only answer for your conduct. So Mr. Skakani, I will leave it there and then...
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. I think you've assisted a lot with some of the questions that I had. Mr. Malatji, Director Malatji, I think what I need to emphasize is that you referred to your managerial, to your administrative functions in a sense, but you are at a managerial level. You are a director, you've issued instructions, you are in charge of the standard operating procedures. It can't be that you don't know how to enforce it. Your level also requires responsibility from you. And you did not stop these ad hoc services. And as Commissioner Khumalo is saying, if we are to accept mathematically that from the date of the instruction up to June, that would have been, I think in terms of the email itself, it would be around 50 million thereabout. But we can also accept that we need to take it back, let's say even to January, and the payments to Gubis, or as a result of the irregular deployments, which you've accepted. That for the 6 months alone is some 96 million, just for 6 months, just for ad hoc services. You accept that possibility, according to this email that you attach. Mm-hmm. So in essence, what has been lost around these irregular ad hoc services, which, as you say, not compliant with the SOPs, and yeah, just to leave it at that, would have cost the city, or in particular the TMPD, 96 million. And if you average it out in terms of the services, what becomes interesting is that as the theme runs through, is that Major Piri and yourself admit that the inspections or verification of services were not done to the T. So a majority of that could potentially have been for services not rendered. I think we can accept that.
I wouldn't accept the narrative that the majority of them might have been paid without the services being rendered. I'm saying this because, Commissioner, we've got a system in place right? Even though it has its own shortcomings, right? But it cannot be correct that I come here and I say I accept that the majority of these ad hoc services were not carried out unless it is evident that indeed for 6 months on this site there were no security guards deployed and so forth and so on, you see. But as it stands now, I wouldn't sit here and accept that, okay, the majority, because the officers got systems. Piri is within the subsection that deals with monitoring of private guards in particular, right? In terms of that system, the unit's function is to go out there, right? Check and confirm if security guards are in place, how many of them are in place, and so forth and so on. Because at the end of the day, these confirmations are critical for service delivery in the city. So,
I think in just remembering your evidence previously, you did accept that some may have been paid without verification, and maybe therefore without the work, and in some cases without the work being done because of your staff shortages. You did accept that. That's some.
yes, Commissioner, I did.
Yes.
And I gave those reasons. Yes.
Yes, you did explain. Thank you.
Just to test that forward, when we deal with some, would we say what's the degree of the system of monitoring? Because one of the issues was monitoring the progress of the sites that you had allocated. How often do you get reports about whether systems are run properly?
There are weekly meetings held with all service providers, in which meetings service providers are taken through challenges that APSS is experiencing in as far as monitoring and related functions are concerned. So on weekly basis, there is what we call operational meeting. And in that operational meeting, the monitoring team, right, takes the what you call through. And at the same time, it is the monitoring team that is addressing the what you call the service providers on things that are not happening, things that are happening, but upon which we need improvement. So,
thank you. Then, if you go to the emails that you've provided, I would assume with these meetings, you would then be in a position to provide a report. In your bundle ST1, page 4, this is now in June. This is an email from Deputy Commissioner Rivo Spies to yourself on 25 June 2025 at 8:01.
bundle 1, page 4.
Page 4
Okay.
of your bundle, of the annexes. You are required, that's in June. You had been requested in March to stop ad hoc services. So you have weekly meetings. So in essence, you would be quite aware of the issues around ad hoc services. but you say you've got a monitoring team and you would be aware. What was the difficulty with then responding to Deputy Commissioner Rivo's piece about these proof about ad hoc services? Because we don't have your response in paper and we have to deal with that, but what was your response? Because if you get reports, ideally, not all of them should be oral. You would have probably gotten, if written reports around the meetings with the service providers or your monitoring team. Do those reports exist? And secondly, why don't we see the response to Commissioner Rivo's piece? And to date, we don't have it.
I'm not sure, Commissioner, if I understand your question very well, but let me try and you'll indicate if I misunderstand.
Perhaps let Mrs. Kakane repeat the question. When we come back, we just want to take a 10-minute comfort break. Let's come back. Let's resume at 5 to 4. Let's adjourn.